Biologically speaking, almost every single domestic dog on Earth is actually a Pleistocene wolf that never fully grew up. Look at the anatomy of an ancient wolf. It has the heavy musculature, thick bone structure, and high aggression required to pull down large prey in a freezing, hostile environment. Compare that to the diminutive features, fragile skull, and harmless profile of a modern lapdog. The traditional story is that ancient hunter-gatherers captured wild wolf pups and bred the friendliest ones. But early humans were constantly on the move, lacking spare calories to feed captive predators. Furthermore, modern genomic studies show that proto-dogs interbred with wild wolves repeatedly over thousands of years, making the genetic timeline too chaotic to support a single intentional breeding program. The leading scientific consensus points to a different mechanism. Wolves domesticated themselves. As early humans formed semi-permanent camps, they piled up food waste on the outskirts, creating a new caloric niche for local wildlife. This schematic maps out how that niche was exploited. Biologists use a metric called flight distance, the exact distance an animal will tolerate an approaching threat before turning to flee. Notice the wolves with a high flight distance staying far out in the cold. But one wolf, born with naturally lower anxiety, crosses that threshold to access the garbage. Over generations, the environment favored the calmest animals. The wolves didn't need to be tame, they just needed to be slightly less afraid. The scavengers with the lowest flight distance survived longer and reproduced more successfully because they had a reliable food source. Humans did not engineer the dog. Our ancient trash piles passively created an environment where certain wolves selected themselves for tameness. Selecting an animal solely for a reduction in fear triggers a massive biological cascade. We can watch this process happen in real time. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev started an experiment with wild silver foxes in Siberia to replicate the conditions of ancient wolves. For 40 generations, Belyaev's team measured the fox's reactions to humans. By selecting only for tameness, researchers accidentally produced foxes with floppy ears, spotted coats, curly tails, and a tendency to seek out human eye contact. Tameness is a bundled genetic package. Selecting for calm behavior automatically drags a suite of physical changes along with it. The mechanism driving this package is a process called neoteny, or arrested development. Domestication essentially delays the animal's natural maturation process. At 8 weeks old, a wild wolf pup has floppy ears, a rounded skull, and highly playful behavior. It whimpers for attention and tolerates eye contact. By adulthood, those traits disappear. In domestic dogs, those juvenile traits are retained permanently. The domestication of the dog was a single developmental switch. Dropping the fear threshold locked the animal in a state of puppyhood. The biological chain reaction altered behavior and cartilage, and also targeted specific gene regions essential for survival. The AMY2B gene produces the enzyme amylase used to break down starch. A wild wolf carries exactly 2 copies. A modern dog carries an average of 7. Early humans grew crops, and dogs ate the agricultural waste. Canine biology adapted specifically to digest human food. At the same time, changes struck the IGF-1 gene, which dictates body size. This specific genetic shift is the reason dogs have the most extreme size diversity of any land mammal, allowing the same species to produce both the Great Dane and the Chihuahua. Because this biological cascade moves so rapidly across a single developmental pathway, proto-dogs appear abruptly in the archaeological fossil record, already exhibiting new skull shapes. Crossing that initial threshold of reduced fear triggered a transformation of their internal digestive engines and physical architecture, leading to the forms we recognize today. The deepest insight is that the relationship was a two-way street. Dogs influenced human psychology and survival as much as we influenced theirs. This diagram illustrates the chemical feedback loop established between our two species. When a dog and human hold a mutual gaze, both brains experience a spike in oxytocin and a sharp drop in cortisol, chemically regulating their stress levels. They were psychologically calmer and more cooperative within their own groups. Lowering their daily stress, along with better camp security and more successful hunts, meant that dog-keeping humans survived those harsh winters and reproduced at much higher rates than humans without dogs. The relationship was not one of owner and tool. It was two species reshaping each other across millennia. The 40,000-year partnership is a story of dual domestication, two species adapting in tandem to navigate the ancient world together.